The moment you bug out, the clock starts ticking, and the next 72 hours will either make you or break you. There's no sugarcoating it. The first 3 days of any bug-out scenario are the most critical. They're filled with danger, uncertainty, and high-stakes decisions that can mean the difference between life and death. This isn't a video game where you get another life if you mess up. This is the real world, and when it comes to survival, there's no reset button. While having the right gear is important, it's your decisions, timing, and mindset that will ultimately determine your fate. It's about knowing when to move, where to go, how to stay hidden, and when to take that crucial rest. It's about keeping your cool in the face of fear and uncertainty. It's about making tough decisions on the fly and living with the consequences. In a bug-out scenario, every second counts. And while it's easy to think that the most important thing is to get as far away as possible, as quickly as possible, the reality is a little more complicated. The first 12 hours are the escape window, the time when you need to get out of the danger zone. But if you haven't left early, you're already behind. And that's when panic can set in. Panic is your worst enemy in a bug-out scenario. It clouds your judgment. It makes you take unnecessary risks. It can even lead you straight into the path of danger. And that's why the first 6 hours are so crucial. That's when most people make their biggest mistakes, by panicking, overpacking, or heading straight into danger. But with the right knowledge, the right mindset, and the right decisions, you can navigate those first 72 hours and come out the other side. And that's what we're here to help you do. So buckle up, folks. It's time to dive into the nitty-gritty of surviving the first 72 hours of a bug-out scenario. Most people make their biggest mistakes in the first 6 hours, by panicking, overpacking, or heading into danger. Let's make sure you're not one of them. This is the make or break moment. The world as you know it has changed, and the only option now is to get out. But how you do that can mean the difference between survival and disaster. So let's talk immediate evacuation tactics. First things first, avoid the main routes. The highways and main roads will be jammed with panicked people trying to escape, and you don't want to get caught in that chaos. Instead, use your knowledge of local back roads, shortcuts, and off-road areas to your advantage. The road less traveled could be your saving grace. Secondly, you need a go now trigger. This is a specific event or situation that tells you it's time to evacuate. It could be anything from a citywide power outage to a mandatory evacuation order. The point is that when your go now trigger happens, you don't hesitate, you don't second guess, you just go. Next up, keep a low profile. In a crisis situation, you don't want to draw attention to yourself. So keep quiet, keep your head down, and blend in with your surroundings as much as possible. The less noticeable you are, the better. Finally, let's talk about what to grab if you're down to minutes. The truth is, you won't have time to pack a bag or gather supplies. Instead, focus on grabbing the essentials: water, food, a first aid kit, and any necessary medications. Everything else can be replaced, but these items could mean the difference between life and death. Remember, the first few hours of a bug-out situation are critical. Your actions during this time can set the stage for the rest of your journey. So, be smart, be decisive, and above all, be prepared, because if you haven't left early, you're already behind. You've left! Now what? This question might be echoing in your mind as you leave behind the familiar and step into the unknown. The first 12 hours were about getting out. The next 12 are about getting far and finding safety. First things first, you need to gain distance. That doesn't mean sprinting into the wilderness or driving until your gas runs out. It means moving smart. It's about choosing routes that keep you hidden, avoiding populated areas, and keeping a low profile. Remember, the goal isn't just to get away, it's to stay away. Once you've put some distance between yourself and danger, it's time to regroup. Find a spot that's hidden from view, preferably with a good vantage point of the surrounding area. This is where you'll set up a temporary shelter. It doesn't need to be the Ritz, it just needs to keep you out of sight and protect you from the elements. Next, it's time to check your gear. You might have been in a rush when you packed. Now's the time to take stock of what you have, what you need, and what you can do without. If you've packed wisely, you should have a few days' worth of food and water. Now is the time to start rationing. Your body will be burning through energy faster than usual, so it's important to keep your strength up. Hydration and warmth are key during this period, especially if you're in a cold climate. Keep yourself well hydrated, but remember to ration your water supply. If it's cold, do what you can to keep warm. Hypothermia is a silent killer and can set in before you even realize you're cold. Finally, be aware of your surroundings. Monitor noise, light, and exposure. In a survival situation, the smallest detail can make the biggest difference. A snapping twig, a distant light, a sudden drop in temperature, these are all signs that you need to be alert. This period is about gaining distance and regrouping. You're out of immediate danger, but the journey has just begun. The next 12 hours will be about dealing with fatigue and friction. But for now, take a moment to breathe. You've made it this far, now it's time to keep going. This is when things get real. As the sun rises on the second day, the adrenaline rush that fueled your initial flight begins to wane. This is the point when the reality of your situation sinks in and physical fatigue starts to set in. You might feel your muscles become heavy, your steps slower, and your breath ragged. Your body is screaming for rest, but it's not just physical exhaustion you're battling. Dehydration and hunger gnaw at your energy levels. In a crisis, your body burns calories faster than usual, and without proper hydration and nourishment, your strength can diminish rapidly. But it's not just the physical challenges that mount, the mental strain rises too, especially if you're not alone. Fear, stress, and conflict can flare up within your group, testing your emotional resilience. When tensions run high and patience runs thin, the smallest disagreement can escalate into a major conflict. So how do you manage these challenges? Firstly, recognize that conflict is normal. It's crucial to establish a system to air out disagreements and make collective decisions. Encourage open communication, but also respect individual needs for space and quiet. Next, let's talk about rest. It's important to establish safe rest cycles. Sleep deprivation can impair your judgment and slow your reaction times, but sleeping too deeply can leave you vulnerable. Create a watch system, where one person stays awake while others sleep, rotating to ensure everyone gets the rest they need. Staying alert without burning out is a delicate balance. Listen to your body. Know the difference between pushing through discomfort and pushing to the point of harm. And finally, be prepared to deal with injuries, infections, or exposure on the fly. Minor cuts or scrapes can become major problems if left untreated in a survival situation. Keep a basic first aid kit in your bug-out bag and learn how to use it before you need it. This is when your body starts to break down. Knowing how to pace yourself becomes more important than any piece of gear you brought. Remember, survival is a marathon, not a sprint. It's about endurance, resilience, and the will to keep going. At this point, you're either settling into a pattern or realizing your plan was flawed. You're 48 to 72 hours into your bug-out, and the reality of the situation is setting in. You're faced with a crossroads, and the decisions you make now could determine your survival. Are you going to stay put or keep moving? This isn't about what you planned, it's about what's happening now. Maybe your original destination is no longer safe, or perhaps you haven't reached it yet. You need to assess your situation and make the decision that best ensures your survival. Did you reach your destination? Or is it gone? Sometimes, despite our best plans, things don't work out. Your bug-out location might have been compromised, or you might not have been able to reach it. In these cases, it's crucial to have a plan B. Is your bug-out bag working for you or against you? By now, you'll know whether your gear is helping or hindering. Maybe that heavy-duty tent was overkill, or perhaps you didn't pack enough food. Either way, it's a learning experience for next time. Knowing when to stop, regroup, and reassess is vital. If you're constantly on the move, you're burning energy and increasing your risk of injury. Sometimes it's better to lay low and evaluate your options. Watch for signs that your route is compromised. This could be anything from increased human activity to signs of a natural disaster. If something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. Hit like if this made you rethink your bug-out strategy. It's crucial to be prepared for any scenario, and we hope that this video has given you some food for thought. If you've found value in this content, show us some love by giving us a like. It really helps us out, and it lets us know that we're on the right track, but don't just stop there. We want to hear from you. What's your biggest concern during those initial 72 hours? Is it finding a safe place to rest, or perhaps it's the fear of running out of resources? Or maybe it's the worry about potential conflicts within your group. Whatever it is, drop it in the comments below. Not only does this help us tailor our content to better suit your needs, but it also starts a conversation that we all can learn from. Remember, we're in this together, and of course, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. By subscribing, you become part of a community of like-minded individuals who value preparedness and survival. But that's not all. Subscribing also ensures that you don't miss out on any of our future videos. We've got a lot more in store for you. from practical tips and tricks to in-depth discussions on survival strategies. But we won't just be talking about what's in your pack, we'll be delving into the mental and emotional aspects of survival as well, because we believe that prepping is as much about mindset as it is about gear. So, if you're looking for real-world prepping insights that go way beyond what's in your pack, you've come to the right place. We're here to equip you with the knowledge and skills you need to not just survive but thrive, no matter what life throws at you. And subscribe for more real-world prepping insights that go way beyond what's in your pack.